Hey, howdy, and welcome to a very weird video, where I do some very weird things. So, I play a lot of TF2 in my off time, and something that I've realized is that if this is what I do with most of my free time, I just don't really like casual that much. Like, I like it a little bit, but you know, it has all the trappings of TF2 casual for those of you that have played TF2 casual, which I reckon is a lot of people, seeing as it's free and on Steam and all that. But what I like to do is I like to play on jump maps. And the funny thing about jump maps is that jump maps are usually exclusive to the soldier and the demo man. However, for a lot of maps, you can play through them as engineer as well. And I've been mulling over this for a while, but I kind of want to do this as a litmus test to see if there's interest. I'm still kind of drowsy because of the freaking. You might be able to hear the fan freaking roaring in the background. I have no control over the fan, and for some reason is on full blast heat right now. So I've just been sitting in here being baked like a turkey. After I've done recording, I'm gonna go get some water and get like a nice cool glass of water that'll probably help to take the edge off. Because, oh god, what I wouldn't give for an actual cold room. But I guess I should be careful what I wish for, because for most of fall semester, I had the opposite problem, where it was always way too cold in here, and I couldn't fall asleep. So I guess this is the opposite. I'm stuck with the... I don't want to say the lesser of two evils, another one of the same type of evil. He is A-posing. is that a bug? I can't tell if that's a bug. Hang on. Yeah, that's gotta be a bug. Might just be a server-side thing. So, my plan for this is... I'm gonna run through the whole map, and then I'm kind of just gonna go through it again, or at least I'm gonna get as far as I can, because funny thing about playing these maps as engineer is that a lot of the jumps are just impossible. Let me just like save a position here. Another thing that I'll probably get into if I ever make that edited video, I wouldn't consider that cheating, because like anywhere that there's a weird sort of superposition of rules, because I try my best to do as many things as possible that you can do in a completely unmodified server. The one exception is that save and load stuff, and I'm using that in place of teleporters, because if I try and place one down, they're disabled in the server. So that's the next best thing, and I want teleporters so that I don't have to redo the same section over and over and over again. Woo! Uh-oh. This might be impossible. Never mind, I can land on the ground there. It's hard to tell with some of these, because sometimes the ground is completely unbuildable, and at that point there is nothing I could do. But this is doable. Yeah, this is perfectly doable. But there's a lot of weird nuances to this playstyle that, I mean, at first glance are completely invisible, because at first glance this looks kinda easy. And I'm not going to say that it's unbelievably difficult, but it's definitely challenging. Especially the bullets, man. Oh my god. The bullets are genuinely really hard to work with in 90% of situations. The bullets have given me plenty of grief. Hello. Okay, that's where the that's where the end of the area is. But I think how I'm going to do this is I'm going to do a full run through of the area. This is still... I can still hit this with rockets, so that's fine. And that's the end of the map. Awesome. So, what I think I'm going to do from here is let me restart the map. There you are. And give a bit more of an in-depth explanation of what's going on and how I do it. But first, I need to address there is technically a second option. Recently, Jump Academy added the option to use a Rescue Ranger that you can use as this weird little, like, bungee. And I'm going to choose not to do it because not only do I think it's kind of cheating, it's also kind of non-functional for jump stuff. I think it's just meant as, like, an assistant to use alongside sentry stuff. Maybe there's a way that you can gain consistent height with this, but so far I don't see it. Alright, so first, before I discuss anything else, let's just discuss the tools that I'm using. Main tool is the Wrangler, of course. To those of you who don't know what the Wrangler is or how it works, when you place down a sentry, normally you can't control it at all. With the Wrangler, you get this handy little laser pointer that you can aim, you can fire rockets wherever your mouse is facing. And there's kind of an advanced tech that you can do with Engineer, Wrangler jumping. You know, you can do that. And from there, Engineer inherits all of the same weird little Source Engine nuances that Soldier has with rocket jumping. But there's a couple added bonus factors that make it even more weird and unintuitive. Factor number one is that Engineer is lighter than Soldier, and I think Demo Man as well. So he gets launched super far. Like, notice I'm hitting the ceiling here. Soldier and Demo don't even get close to that. I think good Soldier you might be able to with a really good C-tap, but I'm terrible at C-taps, so I can't really say. C-tapping is this tech that you can do as Soldier, where if you like press crouch for a single frame or something like that, you just like press crouch at the right time and for a very short amount of time, and it'll give you a little bit of extra boost. But with Engie, you can kind of just fly as high as your heart wishes. And that's not even considering the second thing that you can do with the Wrangler, which is shoot bullets. Because with some jumps, it's really easy to just, you just jump straight across. No problem. But with other maps like this, I think I might be able to make this, but it'll be close. Okay, I can. Let's assume for a second that I can't. And let me just like start a little further back here or so. I can no longer make the jump from there. So now what the heck do I do? Well, I use bullets. And there's a lot of weird nuance with the way that the bullets work, but the long and short of it is that just like align yourself so you're either running up against the sentry or you're it's right behind you. And you can fire at yourself to give yourself a little bit more oomph. And sometimes a lot more oomph. In most situations, rockets are your vertical component and bullets are your horizontal component. The main issue is that it is a lot harder to coordinate, especially since the rockets and bullets aren't coming out of you. So there's a lot of unique situations that only happen when you're playing as engineer, just by virtue of the fact that your rocket launcher is stapled to the ground 100 yards back. The further away you are, the less effective the bullets are. And the rockets can technically be used, but good luck using them consistently. There are ways that you can sync up like a super, super, super long jump and just like fire out a rocket, then propel yourself, and then connect with that rocket that's still flying towards a platform as you're careening along at top speed, and you just get yeeted up into the sky. That's possible, but it is incredibly difficult. You'd also probably need a medic, which brings me to my other main oddity, and the reason why I'm a little hesitant to stick to game rules as much as possible, and that's the problem that Engineer is very squishy. It's hard to tell because it's only on screen for like a few frames. I'm going down to around 40 to 50 health whenever I hit my, or somewhere between like 40 to 60 health whenever I hit myself with a rocket. Sometimes it just doesn't show up at all, but let me see if I can get myself to actually, for it to actually keep. There you are, 43. This factor makes it kind of unfeasible in casual games. If you have someone that's willing to go medic and back you up, then you can do some shenaniganry, but oftentimes, especially since you have to get it up to a level 3 to really do much with it, you're better off just going soldier or demo man. Someone who can do these same techniques with a little less rigmarole. But it is kind of funny that a lot of these jumps that are normally big problems for a soldier, you can kind of just fly right through them. And I genuinely love playing as engineer here. Because again, so many of the issues that are normally present for soldier are non-existent, and a lot of the issues that soldier has no problem with just suddenly appear. Like, what happens if this surface right here doesn't let you build buildings on it? It comes up more often than you'd think. There are a lot of situations where the map maker designed a map around soldier, and in doing so made the map much more dangerous and sometimes downright impossible for demo men and engineers. It's like a doggy door. A doggy door is made for a dog. It's not really made for a wolf. Maybe that's a bad example. It's not really made for a puma. It's like something that's wholly unfitting in that door at face value. And there's a way to do that consistently with the bullets. I still haven't fully tapped into it. But there's a sort of like rising and falling tracking that lets you do it pretty consistently, but I'm the main reason I can do it is because practice. Because there was a whole summer where I did nothing but this, and I did this and I worked at Chick-fil-A for basically the whole summer. God, that is satisfying. Hello, sir.
We need a dispenser right here.
And this is the kind of situation where it's really helpful that the map maker didn't think of engineer. Because otherwise, this jump would be almost impossible. So what I have to do with this jump is I have to... I think this is normally a wall pogo. What I have to do is I have to jump down here, land on that dispenser up there, remove my sentry, build another one, and then only then can I move on to the end of this challenge. And again, normally I'd be able to put teleporters down if this was in game, but I can't, so I'm not going to. It's very funny as well that other players that I've seen when I've just been like idly playing engineer don't really know what to think. Because there are meme classes that you can play when you're doing Jump Academy stuff. You can play Heavy, you can play Spy. They have like server-side scripts for some of the more zany classes that you wouldn't originally expect to have explosive jumps, and most of them don't. So they just have other things instead. I'm kind of tempted to swap the map over to like Jump Sketchy or something and then play through that, because that's a bit more of a complete engineer experience that shows off a lot of the trappings of the play style, a lot of the fun of it. Some actually very hard jumps. But I'm going to cut myself off here, I think. And if y'all want to see more, feel free to tell me. I'm always looking at the comments for, well, comments. That's what the comment section is for. So, that's all I got for now. Hopefully you get a kick out of this. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.